All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the final part of the show, we're going to talk about the announcement of the AFC North being featured on Hard Knocks. So I know the Bears are going to be a team that's going to be on Hard Knocks. You also have the Giants. They're going to be on the off-season version of Hard Knocks. Now we have the announcement that the AFC North, the entire division, is now going to be featured on Hard Knocks as well. So I think I do have the details on that. So yeah, so HBO and NFL Films will document all four AFC North teams: the Ravens, the Bengals, the Browns, and the Steelers. And it's funny because how it's listed here is how I have them ranked in my AFC North rankings. So that's funny for the for the 2024 Hard Knocks in season. This is the first time an entire division will be featured. The AFC North is notable for being the first division to have all four teams finish with winning records in 2023. The Ravens were featured in the first ever Hard Knocks. The Bengals appeared in 2009. The Cleveland Browns were featured in 2018. The Steelers will be making their debut on Hard Knocks. That's kind of hard to believe. But yeah. Also, some other notes from that. So, off-season with the New York Giants debuts on July 2nd. Training camp with the Chicago Bears starts on August 6th. And in-season with the AFC North debuts on December 3rd at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on HBO and will be available on Max. And I really don't understand why they labeled it as Max. What was wrong with HBO Max? I still call it HBO Max. I'm not going to call it Max. But anyways, so yeah, I think this is awesome. Again, I've been told to watch Hard Knocks, and I never really have. And I should have watched it last year when the Jets were on it, just because of everything, that happened with Aaron Rodgers, being brought into the fold. But I think now with the Giants being in it, well, the in-season one, or the off-season one, I definitely will check it out. Because I know there's that, and then you also have the quarterback series on Netflix that I still haven't fully watched yet. You also have the receiver one that's coming out as well, which I think I did a segment on that. So yeah, it's exciting. But when it comes to the AFC North, I mean, how many times have I said it? I've said it today. Arguably the best division in football. I think the toughest division in football. And I think it was only natural that, hey, let's put this whole division and then cover it in Hard Knocks. And there's a lot of storylines going into the season with this division. And I talked about the quarterback position. You got Lamar Jackson coming off of an MVP, and now you have Derrick Henry coming into the fold. So I think that's a very intriguing thing going into 2024. With the Bengals, all our eyes are going to be on Joe Burrow and his health, because he's been banged up a lot over the course of his career. And we're hoping that this is a healthy year for him. And you're coming off of now T. Higgins as well. He's, he signed the franchise tag. So this is going to be a big year for him, hopefully, as he's looking for that big contract. So we got Eric in the chat, host of the wrestling podcast. He said, everyone gets to be on Hard Knocks, a GSMC football podcast featuring Kenneth, also on Hard Knocks. LOL. Yeah, put me on Hard Knocks. Let me yell at some players to get their act together. No. Maybe they'll use a clip of me, a soundbite in Hard Knocks during the year when I'm criticizing one of the teams. They'll use a soundbite for me. Well, we got to get some more viewers before that happens. But yeah, so I talked about the Bengals and some of their storylines. With the Browns, I mean, Deshaun Watson coming back from injury, Nick Chubb coming back from injury. There's that. The Steelers with their new quarterbacks. How is that dynamic going to be throughout the season? Russell Wilson's going to start out as being the starting quarterback, but could he struggle and that eventually lead to Justin Fields taking over? And of course, on the defensive side of the ball, you got T.J.Watt. There's going to be a bunch of coverage on him as well. But yeah, and then you got the matchups. Like I said, let's see. So the Browns, they split with every team. They split with the Ravens. They split with the Steelers. No, the Steelers swept them. Actually, no. No, I'm getting confused. So the Browns, they split with the Steelers. They split with the Ravens, and they split with the Bengals. The Ravens, they got swept by the Steelers. They split with the Browns, and they swept the Bengals. Bengals, they got swept by the Steelers. They split with the Browns, and then they got swept by the Ravens. And then the Steelers swept the Ravens, swept the Bengals, split with the Browns. So I think I went over everybody, right? Yeah, so, these teams are going to beat up on each other. And I just hope that all the quarterbacks stay healthy. Because the other thing I was thinking, too, is, since, when Joe Burrow got hurt his rookie season, right? Then he goes on that run to the Super Bowl in 2021. And then, so he made it to back-to-back AFC championship games in 2021 and 2022. And Lamar Jackson got hurt. Lamar Jackson was hurt both of those years. Then, last year, Joe Burrow gets hurt. Lamar Jackson makes it to the AFC championship game. Now, what do those teams have in common the last 2 years? Now, Burrow did beat him, but the last 2 years, Patrick Mahomes has beaten Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow in the championship games. So I thought that was interesting, that Joe Burrow, he made it to back-to-back AFC championship games, and Lamar Jackson was hurt both of those years. And then last year, Lamar Jackson was fully healthy. Joe Burrow gets hurt, and Lamar Jackson makes it to the AFC championship game. Now, I'm just hoping none of those guys get hurt. So Eric says, who's going to have a better comeback season for quarterback? Watson, Fields, Wilson, or Burrow? Okay, so the first thing I would say is Fields and Wilson. I think as of right now, Russell Wilson's going to be the starter. So I'm probably not going to say them. It's going to come down to either Watson or Burrow. Now, for me, I worry more about Deshaun Watson coming back as opposed to Joe Burrow, because I don't know if Deshaun Watson is going to play well. If Joe Burrow's healthy, I think Joe Burrow is going to play well. I think Deshaun Watson, I talked about this a couple of segments ago when I was talking about the Browns, is just that consistency when it comes to Deshaun Watson. That's what I worry about. With Joe Burrow, I think if he's healthy, I think he's going to go out there and he's going to have the best season out of the 3 other guys that you mentioned. So that's what I would say. But I did also say that the Bengals do have a habit of getting off to slow starts. Now, last year, I think it just had to do with Burrow's health. The year before that, yeah, because they, I forget who they lost to in week 1. Oh, wait, no, they lost to the Steelers in week 1. And then they lost to Cooper Rush and the Cowboys. So, yeah, they got up to a slow start. But, yeah, last year it had to do with Joe Burrow's health. I think if Burrow's healthy, they're playing the Patriots to start off the year, so I think that is a good start for them. I think that should get them off on the right foot, in my opinion. Sorry, Patriot fans, don't want to disrespect you, but I think the Bengals should win in week 1, even though, again, we're still only in June, but that's just my opinion. So I would say, to make a long story short, even though I kind of went long there, I think Joe Burrow, out of him, Deshaun Watson, Justin Fields, and Russell Wilson, Joe Burrow is going to have the best season of those quarterbacks. So that's just my opinion. But it's going to be a lot of fun to watch this division. Like I said, this division is arguably the best division in football, and I think you're going to see that on full display. And it's going to be magnified when we get the inside look on these teams, throughout the year. So I'm looking for. Well, actually, never mind, because it's going to be in December is when it comes out. But I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, Hard Knocks is really going all out. You got the off season, you got training camp, and then you got the in season one. So there's a lot going on, a lot of Hard Knocks, which I think I should really try to digest it this year and commit to that, so I can so we could talk about it. Some sound bites from it, things of that nature. So, yeah, so I'm excited for that. And Eric says, remember the success in New Orleans with the combination of Drew Brees and Taysom Hill. Can we see that in Pittsburgh with Justin Fields and Russell Wilson? You know what? That is that is a good point. Maybe we see that, but I don't think you're going to see Justin Fields, catching passes. I think what you might see, Taysom Hill has run with the football. You could definitely see that. Because if you do remember, you go back to Fields' rookie season. I know week 1, they had him line up at the goal line against the Rams, and that was when the Rams destroyed the Bears on Sunday night. They had Fields running in for a touchdown. I feel like you might see, Fields come in and run the football a little bit, maybe. I know there was that talk that maybe he could return kicks. I think that'd be ridiculous if they do that. I feel like, you know what? I could see it. I don't think you're going to see it very often. Like I said, I don't think you're going to see Justin Fields lining up as a receiver and going out and catching passes and being the Steelers' number 3 wideout. But I could definitely see him lining up in some formations that the Steelers may have, with Russell Wilson on the field. So, we'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, so I'm going to put a bow on it today. That is all the time that we have. Eric, appreciate the comments. I'll see you in about 20 minutes. Make sure to check out Eric's show, the wrestling podcast. That is, I want to say it's 11:30 Eastern time, I want to say. I might have the time wrong. It's either 11:30 or 12 a.m. Eastern time. It's one of the two. But yeah, because he's much later than me. My show is in the morning. His is, when I'm coming home from work sometimes. Make sure to check out his show. Make sure to check out all the other shows on the network, like I said before. Eric says, when you coming on, my friend? At some point. Oh, well, okay. He said 8 p.m., but I know we're in different time zones. So that's 12 a.m. my time. So, at some point, listen, I'm not really a big wrestling fan, so there's not that much I'm really going to be able to add to the conversation. But, if we, do those teams again, those team shows, hopefully I'll be in your group because it'd be a lot of fun. So make sure to check out Eric's show, check out all the other shows, and that's pretty much it for the show for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back again tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and until then, I'm Kenneth Grunfelder signing off from the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.